Coming up on this edition of NFL Daily, Zay Jones, could he be on his way to Kansas City and join Patrick Mahomes in the high-powered Chiefs offense? We'll talk about that possibility coming up. Also, Najee Harris, could a trade be in the works to send the Pittsburgh Steelers running back to the Dallas Cowboys? We'll explore that possibility. And Ryan Tannehill, the former Tennessee Titans quarterback, could he be off to sunny California and joining the LA Chargers? We'll go over all of those items in just a bit. I am the somewhat capable host, Tyler Jones, here with you. Thanks for joining us here on this edition of NFL Daily. I got a survey question for you. Survey says, before we get any further in today's show, how long have you been a fan of your favorite team? If you've been a fan of your favorite team for 5 years or more, go ahead and like today's video. If not, if it's been less than that, comment how long that you've been a fan of your team. We just want to do a little survey, kind of gauge the audience here. Let us know how long you've been a fan, and we'll get started here on NFL Daily. Could a replacement already be in the works for Rashee Rice? Rashee Rice this week under investigation for an alleged assault that occurred in Dallas. Meanwhile, that just adds to things for Rashee Rice as he had the car incident a couple of months ago that was also in Dallas, and that leaves the Chiefs wondering if Rashee Rice will ultimately play this season or not, or even beyond. And so with that in mind, former Jacksonville Jaguars wide receiver Zay Jones set to visit Kansas City today. Here's more from ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter. Former Jaguars wide receiver Zay Jones is scheduled to visit Thursday with the Kansas City Chiefs, per league source. After Jacksonville released him last week, Jones has visited with the Titans, Cardinals, and Cowboys, with the Chiefs on deck. If you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you have to be thinking about your options. What are we going to do? What is life potentially going to look like without Rashee Rice? Because right now, that's a very real possibility that we don't see Rashee Rice play this year, or maybe even ever again for the Kansas City Chiefs at this point in time. Because, I mean, if we're going to be honest, what else is he going to do at this point if he's already had these two incidents this offseason? With Zay Jones, it's a matter of making the most of a bad situation, right? Of the players available in the free agent market at this point, at this late in the ball game, post-draft, Zay Jones is about as good as you can possibly get if you're the Kansas City Chiefs. Former second-round pick out of East Carolina. He's been a journeyman of sorts, already playing with the Jags, the Raiders, and the Bills, and was released back on April 30th, which surprised some people that the Jags moved on from Zay Jones when they did, leaving him available in free agency. And we've seen him play some pretty decent football over the years. Zay Jones isn't a number one receiver by any stretch of the imagination, but with the weapons the Chiefs have, and we'll show you here in just a second, Zay Jones would not be asked to be a number one receiver. If he can put up stats similar to what he did in 2022, I think Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and company would be more than happy with those type of statistics. Right now, here's what the Chiefs offense looks like without Rashee Rice there in Kansas City. You still have the best quarterback in the league. Pacheco and Edwards-Helaire are a pretty good 1-2 running back punch there. Marquise Brown comes to town from Arizona. You bring in the fastest player in the history of the NFL draft in Xavier Worthy from the University of Texas. Sky Moore, he's been a bit of a disappointment, to say the least, in his tenure in Kansas City so far. You have, who I think is the greatest tight end of all time, in Travis Kelce there, along with Noah Gray. It's still a very good offense. Missing a key piece in Rashee Rice, who had over 1,000 yards as a rookie last year. You add Zay Jones to the mix, and all of a sudden I think you're looking at salvaging what could be a rough situation, not having your top receiver next year in Rashee Rice. So let's ask you now, should the Kansas City Chiefs sign Zay Jones? It's our pinned comment today. Y for yes, N for no. I lean towards yes if I'm Kansas City. What do you guys think? Should the Chiefs sign Zay Jones or not? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know what you think. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. You choose two or more players on any given category, get the choice of more or less. Maybe it's fantasy points. Maybe it's birdies in golf. rebounds in basketball, home runs in baseball, all sorts of different categories to choose from. You can mix and match different leagues as well. I'm looking ahead to the start of the NFL season as I got DK Metcalf to have more than 1,025.5 receiving yards this season, and Lamar Jackson to have more than 3,600.5 passing yards. If I put $20 down and this hits, it's going to turn into $60 on Prize Picks. Play along with us. PrizePicks.com/SailItS. Promo code SailItS for a $100 deposit match on your first deposit. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Terms and conditions do apply. Download Prize Picks today. Najee Harris, could he be on his way out in Pittsburgh? The Steelers have found a pretty good running back in Jaylen Warren, who might be just as good, if not better, than Najee Harris at this point in time. And so with that being said, with an increased role for Jaylen Warren, is it time to say goodbye to Najee Harris, who's been a bit underwhelming for being a former first-round pick? And what about a team like the Dallas Cowboys, who were in desperate need for help at the running back position? You don't want to be starting Zeke this year. That sounds like an awful idea. Bleacher Report is suggesting a potential trade between the two parties. Here's what Alex K had to say. Multiple outlets have been reporting that Dallas's brass is exploring that exact option by pursuing Pittsburgh Steelers star Najee Harris. Harris started his career red hot, earning Offensive Rookie of the Year honors after rushing for 1,200 yards and 7 scores on 307 touches. While the 26-year-old has eclipsed the 1,000-yard and 7-score mark in all 3 seasons, his concerning efficiency metrics has resulted in steady reduction in volume. So what could a potential trade look like? Here is what Bleacher Report is proposing. The Steelers get a 4th-round pick from the Cowboys, while the Cowboys end up getting Najee Harris in the deal straight up. And I got to tell you, if you're the Dallas Cowboys, I'd take that deal. I would make that happen in a heartbeat. If that's all it's going to cost to go get a starting running back is a 4th-round pick, a former first-rounder that's still very young, that's a home run for the Dallas Cowboys. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, that doesn't make a ton of sense at all. Even if you plan to let Najee Harris walk in free agency, I'd rather just stick with Najee Harris and get the comp pick out of him for letting him go than having to settle just for a 4th-round pick and not having him for this year. To me, it doesn't make sense for Pittsburgh. You look at Najee Harris, and although it's been underwhelming, his career of sorts, he's not a bad player. He just hasn't performed up to expectations. A Pro Bowler back in 2021, an all-rookie team selection, but he's realistically not any better now than he was as a rookie. His stats last year, he accounted for over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns, 4.1 yards per carry. So let's let you be the judge now here on today's show. Should the Steelers trade Najee Harris? Type T for trade, type K for keep. Should Pittsburgh make a deal here? Let us know. I'm typing K for keep. I'm not trading him for a 4th-round pick. Goodness gracious. We are covering the National Football League each and every day here on NFL Daily. It's like it's in our name or something here. We are live twice a week, every Tuesday and Thursday. We're reacting to all the top news and rumors around the NFL, bringing you up-to-the-minute updates across the NFL. You will not want to miss a moment of it. Lock us in. Subscribe now. Stay up to date with everything you need to know across the National Football League. Best part about it, absolutely 100% free to subscribe. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV to subscribe for free today. Join the family. Never miss a moment. Subscribe now. Let's talk Tannehill now. The former Tennessee Titans quarterback is still on the market looking for a new home where he'll be a backup quarterback somewhere in 2024. And the folks at the Draft Network are suggesting that the Chargers could be in play to sign Tannehill. Here's more from the Draft Network. All of that would come undone if the Chargers' new decision makers aren't better prepared for a Herbert injury than the previous one was. Easton Stick and Max Duggan are currently expected to battle throughout training camp for the right to back up Herbert. Talking about a lackluster competition. The Chargers are playoff contenders with Herbert at the helm. Tannehill would keep them afloat if Herbert has to miss a few weeks. And I think that's a realistic possibility if you're the LA Chargers, that you probably aren't going to have Justin Herbert for all 17 games. And the Chargers, if they're going to be a playoff team, they're going to be a borderline playoff team, right? A wild card. They ain't winning that division. I can tell you that right now. And so with that in mind, do you really want to take a chance with Easton Stick or Max Duggan to win you a must-win game to get into the postseason? Or would you rather go with a veteran like Ryan Tannehill, who, when he's been written off before, he didn't write back, shout out Geno Smith, when he was the NFL's Comeback Player of the Year, when he came off the bench for Tennessee, replacing Marcus Mariota after he left the Miami Dolphins. He's been in this situation. For me, I lean towards the idea of signing Tannehill if you can get him. Tannehill, former first-round pick out of Texas A&M, began his career in Miami, went to Tennessee, took them to an AFC championship game. They were the number 1 seed in the AFC just a couple of years ago. He's had a nice run. I don't think this is a bad idea at all. You look at the statistics. I know that Tannehill did not play well last year, throwing for 4 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, but I'm not asking him to be my full-time starter. I'm asking him to potentially back up one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. To me, it makes a ton of sense for L.A. What team will end up signing Ryan Tannehill in free agency when it's all said and done? Weigh in the comment section. Give me a team that comes to mind. Thanks for joining us here at this edition of NFL Daily. If you enjoyed today's show, like the video. We certainly would appreciate it. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time here on NFL Daily.